I just wanted to start off with like some relational rejection. Have you ever, Rhett, been relationally rejected?
Of course not.
I know you. I know you'd set your sights on a girl, but that didn't necessarily mean that their sights were set on you.
You know, I thought about this recently. I actually had a tendency, well, I think there's two things going on. First of all, I just really like women. and and that started very early. And it was very intense. Like I'm not talking, this was like not at puberty, this was before puberty. This is like first grade, right? I had infatuation issues. And I would kind of get focused on a girl, and typically I would focus on someone who—
You dream about flying to her house.
Well, I would focus on girls that were, for lack of a better word, unattainable for me, right? Like, I don't know what it was. It would be like, okay, this girl is 2 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And it would be embarrassing for her to date me. Even if we were in the same grade, she probably wouldn't date me, right? I mean, you've seen pictures of me growing up. And so I was a little bit gangly, but I had a lot of confidence, and I would, and once I kind of made that decision, I would begin what I guess was my version of flirting and talking and telling other people that I like this girl, telling her friends that I like them.
Moving and shaking, trying to get something going.
And there are a couple of times where this was a successful strategy, and that was all I needed to continue doing it. But I would say that just a percentage breakdown, it's probably 80% rejection, 20% success. So rejected more often than I was accepted.
So I didn't think it was that much of a spread. Sorry to use the term. So does that mean that no one rejection stands out?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about my biggest crush in high school, I don't even consider that a rejection because it was so unrealistic. But like I remember a girl.
But like, do you like one where you were like to her face saying, "Will you be my girlfriend," or "How will you go with me," or will you go out on a date? And she was like, no.
I don't think. Well, you know how it was in like middle school, high school. It never really got to the point where you were face to face asking and being rejected. The rejection usually came through a friend before you got there.
That helps, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the funny thing is I don't ever remember. Again, it's hard to remember exactly emotionally what was going on in high school. But I would kind of just be like, okay, all right, that's not happening. So I would just kind of move on.
So you never shook you that you can recall?
No.
Okay, because for me, I mean, my problem was the opposite. Like I was so anxious and self-aware and just kind of felt like I didn't know what I wanted, and it was so much about what should I be doing so that I can, fit in or whatever. So like I would hear through the grapevine that some girl wanted to date me, and then I was like, oh crap, this is a huge test. I feel like I'm gonna fail. There was a lot of fear and anxiety that short-circuited. It was just like the polar opposite of you at that time. It short-circuited so many of these experiences. So for me to say, well, you know what, I don't think I was ever rejected is definitely not a brag at all, because, and I think this is something that when we talk about the creative ramifications of rejection and failure, it's this dynamic of fear kind of keeping you from action. And if you overcome that to, whether that's to create or initiate with somebody or try to initiate some sort of a relationship, it's, you never know what can happen if you go for it, but you know what's gonna happen if you don't. Nothing.
Right.
And I think for me the only rejection was, definitely I was dumped by Jana.
Yeah.
My sophomore year. She was a freshman, and she wrote me a note and I put it she wrote me the note that we were breaking up because I was just a friend to her, because I clammed up so much around her and I was so anxious in my own head, and it was about what should I be doing and not what do I want to do? I was so in my own head, and she was very nice and she let me off the hook, but it was I remember reading that letter, and boy, it was embarrassing to be like, okay, I just consider you're a great person, and I read the letter on Good Mythical Morning because once we moved to LA, I found I brought my soccer bag out here for some reason.
Yeah, you gotta keep your soccer bag.
I thought I was gonna play some soccer after not playing for like a decade or something. It was sentimental value to have my cleats and stuff in there, but I found that I had kept that rejection letter. I guess, I don't know why I did it. I'd like to think it was some sort of lesson that then I was gonna go after what I wanted from then forward, and I wasn't gonna let fear clam me up. But I don't think that was actually the case.
Yeah.
I just think it was just like, man, this hurts. I'm so sentimental. I'm gonna shove it in this bag, and maybe I didn't go in that pocket anymore, or maybe I was just sentimental.
I was giving you good advice at the time, man. I was like, this is quite an opportunity that you've been given, like, cause she like invited you to her house.
I went to her house.
And I was like, well, you should definitely accept that invitation.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is not riding the four-wheeler with her.
Right, yeah, and that's not a euphemism, that's literally riding a four-wheeler. We were in North Carolina.
But that would have been so awesome. I mean, here I am, about to turn 43 years old, and I'm still regretting not straddling her on that four-wheeler.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we'd both be facing the same, I don't know, who knows what directions we would have been facing.
There's lots of things.
We could have been facing every
very,
direction,
very
man.
Wide. The seat is very wide
I
and
mean,
long.
Once I got away from her.
There's probably a whole like section on some porn website of just stuff that happens on ATVs. I'm not saying I know about it, I'm just saying that's how specialized things can get.
Now, you gotta wield the power that we have with caution, because just saying that is gonna like spike that search.
Well, what if it generates a whole new category of porn? I mean, we can take credit for that too. The Miyagi School of Driving, Fresh Breath, and ATV Porn.
Okay, so we're teaching people how to have sex on an ATV?
It's like, there's a bunch of ATVs there. Are those for driving? No, that's just for sex.
Okay. Oh man.
Okay.
That rejection hurt. So I guess, that's all we have to go into the relational stuff.